Welcome, one and all, to World in a Jar. We are your hosts, Kyoko and Vale, and also editor Chris this time. Our goal is to take a word, concept, or idea and spin it into a story, be it a character, NPC, group, city, you name it. And thus, those ideas we create become our world in a jar. Of course, they won't all fit in the same jar, so our selection is constantly growing every week. With many spices to choose from, locations, genres, heroes, villains, and tropes, we hope to give you a jar filled with fun and interesting concepts. But first, how are you doing, other host?
What a callback to when I first did that.
Pretty good. It's been a pretty chill day today, and I've just been mostly doing D&D stuff today. Outside of another recording thing.
Yeah, Kyoko and I have a special project that launches in 6 months.
Ooh.
No, Apple just did the balloons thing again when I did the peace sign. Well.
Always good.
Oh well. But yeah. How was your day, Chris? We don't have to call you editor, Chris.
Chris editing Chris's day.
You can. it's just a link to a vlog.
Hey guys, welcome to my vlog.
Hey guys,
Want to see a musical today?
welcome to Editor Chris's vlog. Ollie, stop, child, stop doing that. No, my day was pretty all right. Did a work day at the community theater, put some stuff up. Bought some last minute tickets to a musical that our kid could see. And realized after I hit purchase that I was supposed to record this at a certain time, and freaked out a little bit. But that's about it.
And then there I was with the reassurance.
It's okay. I called out of work tomorrow, so I can do this today.
Perfect. Also, hopefully none of your coworkers watch this.
What, 3 weeks down the line? I could say it was recorded whenever the hell I called out next.
You fucking right.
Oh, jeez.
If they cared enough about me. Like I do for them.
So, as we have been sort of hinting at, quote unquote, here on World in a Jar, having editor Chris here means we finally get to tackle a class that we've been holding on to. What class is that, Chris?
It's Barbarian, and I'm gonna just fucking double bicep directly towards the camera and not look at this until I edit it.
Tangy spangy, I'm going angry.
Oh, golly gee, there I go, flying off the handle again.
What about Barbarian inspired you to play Stilbrin?
Everything.
I mean, I don't know. Stilbrin's not technically a barbarian.
But how much is he?
Yeah, he's not a barbarian.
I know he's a warlock.
The big sword. Honestly, nice. It's nice to have fun big swords.
Who doesn't love a character with big swords?
Honestly.
I mean, hey, exactly. That's why my barbarian in Chris's campaign has an axe that's just about as big as she is.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And every time I balance
Tiny
encounters, I'm like, wait a minute. I have Kyoko here. I need to make this harder.
I need to make this harder specifically for Kyoko.
Sadly, that's just the way I play, is like I make a build and then I make the character. And then like, uh-oh, the encounter's too easy because Vale made a build again.
Yeah.
See, I made the character first and then I just rolled my stats really well.
Yeah, that...
And we're also playing with 3 first-time players.
Yeah.
So...
And having a barbarian just walk in there and just be like, "Oh, what? I'm level 4. Of course I have 20 strength." What?
When we hit 200 Twitter followers, I will share my notes on the best build for a dual wielding lance build.
Ooh.
You got one big weapon, now you got two. Or you want one big weapon, now you have two.
So many big weapons.
So what about Barbarian do you really like, Chris? Like, what draws you into Barbarian? I mean, other than big bonk on head.
Big bonk on head. And funnily enough, the way that you said that kind of leans into why I like Barbarians so much. Because the trope with most Barbarians is giant hunk of muscle that is not smart. I'm currently wearing an Intel shirt. I don't want to say publicly that I'm smart, but I feel like I am a little bit at least.
You're gonna get targeted.
I will say publicly that Chris is smart.
1,000%. I just gonna get targeted, and everyone's just gonna ask me like, "What's the square root of 75?" And I'm gonna say, "I have calculators for that."
You're gonna get targeted by pseudo intellectuals on Twitter that think they're smarter than you.
Probably.
Actually.
No, I really enjoy playing either a character that is just dumb as rocks, but really loves their friends, or a character who is just completely brash and really wants to. And not even wants to, they have to just say what's on their mind at all times, because it's kind of the opposite of who I am as a person. So it's fun to act in these kinds of RP situations where I can just be something that I'm not. And honestly, Barbarian is kind of the not part of me, even though I am working out. I'm trying. I'm trying to do it. I've had one Barbarian costume in my life, and I thought it was pretty good. Avid viewers of World in a Jar would have seen that at one point, but if you haven't, perhaps you should go watch the backlog. Please?
If you haven't, go find it.
And then tag us that you found it with the episode number.
Exactly. And then screenshot it and send it. And then make me regret putting my face on the internet.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, Barbarian is also one of my favorite classes. Or, sorry, you were saying, Kyoko?
No. Go on. You go.
There's been a couple Barbarians I've played. Both of them dumb as rocks. I really do need to subvert that trope at some point, but it is so fun to play an idiot sometimes.
It really is.
I may be dumb.
One of them.
I might not be a smart man.
One of them
but I know what bonk is.
I mean, like, the kind of
I may be stupid, but I'm not dumb.
The kind of archetype I ascribe to with Barbarian comes from Team Fortress 2's first video, Meet the Heavy, in which he says, Some people think they can outsmart me. They're right. But I've yet to meet one man who can outsmart Bullet.
True.
Such good Barbarian energy.
I love the Heavy so much.
He was one of my favorites.
Sandwich.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Heavy really is a barbarian.
I mean,
basically.
Yeah. Honestly, it's like that. Have you seen that triangle of what was it? I'm gonna look it up because I don't want to say it before I.
Is it like the McDonald's one?
No.
The McDonald's triangle.
No, it's the himbo triangle. So you have 3 points. You have hunk, jock, and himbo, and in between him is If you're a jock and a hunk, you're beefy. If you're a jock and like a himbo, you're stupid. And then a hunk and like, yeah, it's, you know, the pick two kind of a thing.
Chris, put it on the screen.
I wish I could, but I did not find the right one. There you go. Here it is. I'll just say it. You know, because voice things. A himbo must be kind, beefy, and stupid. Only kind and beefy? That's just a hunk. Only beefy and stupid? That's just a jock. Only kind and stupid? That's just a decent man. So, every time I make a barbarian, I kind of think about that.
Am I decent man?
So where do I
jock,
want him
or...
to sit on the triangle?
Exactly.
And then Kronk is in the middle.
Exactly. Yeah, Kronk is the
yeah.
definition of a himbo. It's just Kronk.
It's all coming together.
Exactly.
Chris.
If I could make my voice go Patrick Warburton levels, I would, but I cannot.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Oh yeah.
And also, my first barbarian was an entertainer, so he was kind of a bard.
Oh.
A barbarian. That's my
Barbarian.
dream.
Yeah, you just smacking people
That is my
around with a
dream.
lute.
His musical instrument was the
Yeah.
bagpipes. The only time he rolled a nat 20 is when I said he was playing All Star by Smash Mouth.
Wow.
Like Barbarian combines my two favorite classes. Because I love Bard. We all know I love Bard. But I also love Barbarian because it allows me to utilize the rage I hold in my tiny little body.
Yep. That's It's always
Chris knows very well.
it's always fun to play with opposite ends of the scale when it comes to these kinds of things. So if you're playing a barbarian,
Yeah.
there's the primal urge to make your barbarian as small as possible, just because this is weird juxtaposition. I don't know what's happening and everything's awesome. Like my
Yeah, I mean, like, me being a short person, I sort of, like, it's fine playing a dwarf, halfling, or gnome, but, like, I'm short enough. I want to pretend to be taller.
Yeah.
But, like, Grisha, if I'm gonna be big, meaty, strong, and stupid, her being so little and also being a princess is fucking perfect.
You beat me
works
to-
out pretty well.
You beat me to the Tinkaton inspired character.
I did. I really did.
And kind of like my speaking of subverting expectations, my most recent barbarian in a campaign that's running Tomb of Annihilation is Mitch Fillin, and Mitch is a Goliath, but I have given him basically this is basically what Mitch is. Oh well, hi there. How's it going? Just it sounds kind of like you have some sort of a, you know, some kind of a Canadian accent, but you know, oh sorry about that. Oops, I broke all your stuff. My bad. That's Mitch.
I forgot you were playing a Midwesterner.
Yeah,
I forgot you said that you were gonna do that.
I wanted to incorporate the whole rage thing of, well, there I go flying off the handles again.
There I go, flying off the handle again. Oh, my bad.
So good.
Oh, let me just squeeze right past you.
Yep, I suppose it would be a good thing for me to at least talk about the barbarians I've had, since everything is barbarian.
Absolutely.
The floor is
My
yours.
first barbarian was, oh god, what was his name? I'm blanking. This is terrible. Anyways, it was in like it was 5e, but it was also just like 5e homebrewed to be like, you guys are in space kind of a thing. And I was basically teleported to a spaceship from my primitive planet, and
Oh my god.
and I like killed the dude who like did it, and then I had an AI chip implanted in my head. So I would be really stupid until like certain situations, and then I just spout off the most intelligent bullshit possible. And that guy was really fun.
The inner machinations of my mind
Are
are
an enigma. So there was that guy. One of the ones that I really, really enjoyed playing was Baron Frostbeard. Just stereotypical small dwarf, giant beard, big axe. Spoke his mind, said everything that he wanted to say when he wanted to say it. The only real twist there was his whole being was dedicated to both helping the children that we found that were orphaned and becoming their pseudo father, and becoming a chef. Really wanted to cook.
Heck yeah.
That's it. That was Baron in a nutshell. I had a buddy open up some commissions for art, and I had him make my character. Yeah, and that I love that thing. It's so good. I would shout him out here. I don't know if it'll get him much, but he does some good work.
Nice.
Yeah, and then Mitch is my most current one, and Mitch is he's just a handful, isn't he?
He's just a nice fella.
Just a nice guy. Let's see if I can find a picture of Baron, so I can throw that up there at some point. But yeah, that's my barbarians. Though they may have been few and far between, they made me want to actually play Dungeons and Dragons, because I am much more of a GM type. I would rather just be like dealing with things and improving than sitting there waiting to do stuff.
No, that is so valid. As someone who sits on the opposite side of the spectrum, I totally get having your preferred role in D&D.
I mean, I was a forever DM until a couple years ago. So I see both sides.
I was a forever player until like a couple months ago.
Right.
But today on World in a Jar, as we have been doing with all of our episodes except for a couple solo ones, we're gonna roll for words, and then once we make those, we roll for trope.
And then the viewer words are kind of wild this time. So viewers at home, if you want to play along and make a character while you listen to World in a Jar, your random words for your barbarian are art and carve, and your TV trope is custody battle. What the hell, TV trope?
Oh my god. Those are words that fit the stereotypical bard.
Custody battle. Holy shit.
My wife left
Alright.
me and she took my rage.
Oh,
She said she wanted half. She got half of my rage charges for the day. I can no longer angry.
Everything is terrible.
I can't rage, I can only be sad.
God.
All right. So instead of flipping a coin today, I have a D6. That way each of us can get a turn. Chris, since you are our esteemed guest, which two numbers do you want?
3 and 1.
3 and 1. Okay. Vale, what two numbers do you want?
2 and 4.
All right. That leaves me with 5 and 6. All right. Rolling the D6.
We did it, everybody.
It's Chris.
That was just basic math, and we did it. All right. It's me.
Yeah.
Hello, me.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, that's
here.
my cue.
Wait, what do I do?
Your words.
What do I do, guys?
Your words are influence and trap.
Influence and trap. Let me legitimately pull open some kind of a note thing.
And you can pick a subclass if you want to, you can pick a race if you want to. You are not obligated to. But you can if you want to make your character a little more detailed.
So influence.
Which in fact,
influence and
I'm
what?
opening up the trap. It's a trap.
Okay. Huh. Influence trap. So this immediately brings to mind, I would want some kind of a barbarian that is like, he's on something. So he or she or they just like, they're on something, and it's something that makes them stronger. Think steroids.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's basically steroids. But they are kind of seen as a almost like a beacon in their kind of world. So they're really, really popular. But with them doing that, they're trying to shill this substance to everyone they see. But the problem is they have a certain amount of stock of it, and they really just need to have someone else sell more stock of it and also get their friends involved to sell more of it. It's kind of like a it's like a you know a several step, you know, idea that they're trying to sell. Possibly some kind of a multi-level marketing thing.
I have a title for the episode: multi-level mad.
Multi-level mad. I
gotta
love
write
it.
that down. Wait a second.
Multi-level mad. That's fantastic. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
MLM, multi-level
Multi-level
mad.
mad. Yep, that's where I go with that. Like, I can just see like almost like a Fabio kind of person, just like looks really good. They're like, you know, just like svelte as shit, and everything is perfect about them, but they're always just kind of pushing like, hey, you could be like this too if you just sign up and get your friends to sign up as well.
If you can sell 200 cases of these barbarian pills, you'll become a level 5 barbarian.
Exactly.
You can be just like me with 4 payments of $49.99 a month.
Yeah, that's a lot of gold, honestly.
Yeah, it is.
Oh wait, 4,999 gold a month? Oh,
Absolutely.
So much gold.
It's okay, that's only 4 platinum. Wait,
It's only
platinum is it 100? No, it's 40 I don't know. I can't do math.
it's only
Look,
1
I'm
gold
gonna-
away from 50 platinum.
I'm gay. I can't do math. You expect the world's gayest bard to do math? Nuh-uh. I'm a theater kid. But yeah, no, that sounds like super cool. Like a barbarian that doesn't like really play off of the the stereotypical barbarian stuff. Like this sounds like a barbarian that is definitely more charismatic and intelligent than a typical barbarian is.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's definitely like a really cool way to spin it, because then like you can also use their rage and like natural intimidation in sales if you needed to.
Yeah.
You can spin it almost like a mafia sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, what is an MLM?
Eh.
A multi-level mafia.
Episode title number 2.
All right, there you go.
And people always accuse the
All
warlocks
right,
of being
so-
MLMs.
No, those are sugar babies. Can't believe I just said that on camera. Either way, Chris, is that where you think you can leave this for the trope, or would you like to add more?
I don't know. That kind of encapsulates it. Just MLM Barb.
Yeah.
It fits. It seems to be just the direction that it should follow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, so I'm going to roll the d6 again. Vale, you still have your numbers of 2 and 4, and I still have 5 and 6, and we'll see who goes next. It rolled a 3, so I'm re-rolling. All right, it's a 2. So Vale,
Yes.
it's your turn.
I love these words. My words are sword and thanks. I think this barbarian wields a warhammer. Okay, so lives and dies by the sword, and he's thankful for his life. I'm just gonna start spitballing. That's the classic Vale. Spitballs into something actually profound.
Honestly, I feel like you literally just pulled the 2 words that would describe Mitch. Sword and thanks. Yeah, that's a big. Yeah, Midwestern barbarian. Yeah, that's what it is.
Bought my sword at the local Walmart.
Oh, you betcha.
Water.
So he wields a warhammer?
No, he wields a sword. That was a joke.
I was gonna say, oh my, I literally facepalmed.
It was a
when you
joke
said
and it
that.
fell flat. I fell on
Look,
my warhammer there. I mean,
I'm-
fell on my sword there. So this barbarian might be one of the few adventurers that actually likes their jobs. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of adventurers that like their job. People don't really tend to become adventurers for good reasons, or so I'm led to believe at pretty much every table I play at. So I think this barbarian has like a wife and kids at home, and they're just so supportive of him going out and killing things for money, bringing back trophies to hang on their wall.
just putting bread on the table.
I think how I can kind of weave sword and thanks into it is that there is a family sword, like an heirloom sword, that is wickedly powerful that he's not allowed to use yet. They will be thankful for the day they are deemed worthy enough to wield the family sword. But until that day, it's just a regular old greatsword.
It's like, no, honey, you're not allowed to use the ancestral weapon yet.
See, and I don't even think it's the wife or anything. Maybe it's just like a personal mission.
Or better yet, like he has 2 swords, and one, like both of them are strapped to his back, but one of them he just will not use
Yeah.
because of this reason. And it's like,
This
Come
is
on,
my
man.
sword for special occasions.
yeah, it's like the fine china. You never use it. It's just there.
Exactly. Exactly. Honey, we have guests. Bring out the fine china. Swings the nice sword into the table.
He's like, okay, there are 2 reasons I'm going to pick up this sword. One is that I do something epic that my ancestors would be proud of. So like Ancestral Guardian Barbarian, kind of. Or 2, if someone kills my family, I will avenge them with this sword. And he says this openly in
Oh
front of
my
his
God.
wife all the time. And she's so upset by it.
I feel like she'd be like, oh, honey, that's so sweet. But, like, also, what the fuck?
That's so sweet, honey. I'm so glad I married you. Just
Honey, we'll talk about this once the kids go to bed. Okay?
But yeah, they have a lot to be thankful for, and the one thing they have yet to be thankful for is that they've done something extraordinary that lives up to their family name, to be able to wield this awesome, powerful sword.
Nice, yeah.
I like it.
That is probably all I can say until the trope.
All right. I'll roll the d6 again. It's okay. What are my words?
Your words are alive and equinox.
I swear I've gotten equinox before.
You know what? I should probably start using the favorite button to favorite words that we get, so I can see when they come back up. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that now.
Probably good.
Valid. All right, so I have alive and equinox. So alive immediately makes me think this is a barbarian that sort of like gets their like will to live basically from all of like the action and adventure, maybe all of like the murder and the killing and the swinging of their weapon, like, you know, their like thrill in life from being a barbarian. And equinox is interesting because the only time equinox really comes up is when you think of the spring and fall equinoxes, which marks like the start of those seasons. So maybe it's like, my brain is saying Path of Wild Magic Barbarian, which is like kind of interesting because it's just very angry, very physical sorcerer. But it's like, what if the equinox is when the wild magic like really surges and this barbarian like loses control of it or something? Or, you know, you can go typical like Path of the Beast, and maybe you can say like this barbarian's a lycanthrope or something like that, to where this whatever curse is afflicting them or whatever only occurs on the equinox. So they know that there are 2 days every year, depending on like the calendar system in whatever world you're building, where they lose like complete control of themselves and they are sort of disconnected from what makes them feel alive.
I like that from a GM perspective, because that definitely gives a fun little mechanic that you can throw in of like, you know, if it's a long running campaign, you can just pick a random day, and as soon as they go into a rage, it's like you can't stop. You have to keep going, and if you do not, you like have some terrible thing, some affliction thrusted upon you.
I also like the Path of the Beast version, where it's like you're a werewolf, but not from the moon, from the equinox.
Yeah.
Yeah, from like the equinox, and you could even work in the solstices there. Can almost be like, if you think about how powerful the solstices are in the Avatar world, could be something like that, where they get like a boost of power, or they lose all power, or like something like that. But yeah, no, Path of the Beast I feel like that works the best because it can really be any curse. It doesn't specifically have to be lycanthropy.
Hell,
but
you
it
could
could be
a vampire.
like, yeah, exactly. And like, Chris, I really like what you brought up, that it could be like you go into a rage and you can't stop. It can become an uncontrollable thing to where maybe this barbarian doesn't know who they are attacking. Like, they could be attacking friend or foe, but they're lost in their curse that they can't tell. So it brings like a nice conflict to the player and to the rest of the players, especially during battle, and it gives the DM or the GM something really fun and interesting to work with alongside the player and to add to the story.
For sure.
I really...
Like, It's a Lost in the Sauce Barb. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy coming to the DM with stuff like that. It's like, okay, there's sometimes that my character loses control and it's up to you. And so they can just whip it out at any moment and it'll blindside me just as much as the rest of the party. That's my favorite kind of character.
Love those little moments that just allow improv from both sides. It's so
yeah.
I really I'm like a situation-based player in DM. I'm like, what situation can I put myself in or put the party in? What situation can the DM put me in, and then I'll have to adapt to, kind of thing.
Yeah.
See, I just run completely on instinct in D&D. I let my acting skills just carry me through. So everything's a surprise to me. Chris, when are we gonna bamboozle each other? What am I gonna do to both of you what am I gonna do to both of you this coming session? Who knows?
I'm so excited.
I wanted to bring up something about my character and then realized that it would spoil it for people in the campaign.
I know some things
it's okay,
about
just
your
message
character.
it to me later. No, you don't.
What?
No, you know one thing. You know one
I
thing.
knew one thing, and I
That's
thought I knew
character.
everything. Man, did I just become a Twitter
hold
bro?
all the answers.
Did I just become a Twitter
Yeah, you
bro,
did.
know one thing, and pretend to know everything?
Actually. But yeah, no, I think that's where I'm gonna leave my barbarian for the trope, because the trope can really spin this in a bunch of different ways depending on what it is.
Yeah, so we'll cut back in for trope time, I think.
It's trope time.
The time in which the tropes are had.
Can I roll the d6 this time?
Yeah, sure, go for it. Do we want the same numbers still, or would we like to pick new numbers?
Up to you
Probably the
guys.
same numbers.
Same numbers. All right, Chris was 1 and 3. Vale, you were 2 and 4. And I had 5 and 6.
It's 6.
Hey, I go first.
Continuity.
Remember how we were talking about dumb barbarians? The trope is held back in school. With a picture of Bart.
Something that I was so terrified of happening to me in school, even though it never would have happened. I was so terrified of that. But either way, this is my barbarian that feels alive when they are barbarianing and has a curse set upon them that afflicts them on the equinoxes. So my brain is saying that maybe he was held back, maybe they were held back in school because they missed so much school, cuz that it happens, unfortunately. Kids with too many absences get held back in school, or their parents get arrested, but we won't talk about that because that'll make me real mad. I will rage.
Okay. We rage in
maybe
game, not in real life.
Something like... Oh, trust me. It's been how many hours since I took my meds? But anyway, maybe this is a barbarian that either they got held back because of too many absences, they didn't want to go to school because they didn't feel like that it wasn't what they wanted to do. They didn't feel a sense of purpose. They didn't feel any purpose being at school. They just wanted to go out and be a barbarian, maybe follow in the footsteps of one of their parents. Maybe it could be that this barbarian had to miss a bunch of school due to having to juggle this family curse. Because what if it doesn't afflict other family members the same? Path of the Beast, for at least the lycanthropy option, says one of your parents is a lycanthrope, and you've inherited some of their curse. So that means it doesn't have to necessarily be the same. Like, maybe this barbarian has like a weaker version of the curse, which is why they only change every equinox. But what if one of their parents who's afflicted by it changes every full moon, or changes even more often than that? So this barbarian constantly has to deal with, wrangling in their parent and making sure that their parent doesn't go on a rampage and kill a bunch of people. Maybe they accidentally get hurt by their parent during these times of dealing with the curse and transforming. So this barbarian, unfortunately, as they're also, at this time maybe young and attending school, they unfortunately get held back because they're just not up to the standards of moving up to the next grade or moving on with their initial class of students. And that just makes them feel worse and worse and worse about being in school, because, who wants to be the kid that is like significantly older in a class? So maybe this barbarian is just like, okay, fine, hold me back. I'm not coming to school anymore. I'm gonna go live my dream of barbarianing.
Wouldn't it suck? You're an adventurer going to your adventuring buddy's house, and you go to sleep, and then you wake up and all of his family are werewolves.
Hey, Mrs. Johnson, I was just wondering what was for... Oh, my God!
Hi, Mrs. Smith. I was just wondering if I could take a show. Oh, my God! It's like Merida walking in on her mom being a bear.
But man, I really
could change your parents. Would you?
Would ya?
Would you?
But man, this is also like a really
no.
deep character concept, because like you were held back and dropped out of school because you were wrangling your parents. Like, that's got to be a lot of people's trauma.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like it's a very real trauma. Like, not saying that I've experienced this trauma or anything, because I haven't, but like from things that I've seen relating to this trauma, there are lots of people that like have to stay home to take care of siblings because their parents aren't doing it, or their parents are sick or something like that, or they have to stay home to take care of a sick family member, or have to stay home because their family isn't putting enough money on the table to take care of everyone, so they have to pitch in. And things like that. It's a very real situation.
Yeah, it also
people can translate into their character.
Yeah, it brings up the other kind of stereotype with barbarians of being stupid. Having being held back, that could influence your character to, if you are going to do something in a certain situation and you're gonna like fail an intelligence check or something like that based on just all of this, it's less of a I'm just big barbarian, I go bonk bonk and hit things, and more of a I didn't get this right, and it's probably because of all of this terrible stuff that happened to me, and it would inform you to do something probably different than what would normally happen as a barbarian, because you would say, oh, hey, I'm a barbarian, I'm not very smart, I'm gonna say this thing, ha ha ha, laugh, funny. And now with this trope added in there, it's more of a I said this thing, it wasn't very smart, and now I'm beating myself up.
Yeah, there's a lot of like personal, like familial trauma with that, but there's also a lot of academic trauma, which that's a lot of fun.
Super cool. Who's next?
But this would be yeah. But this would be like really good in a more serious campaign. Especially like if you run this by your GM and they're totally cool with it, and they can find a way to like work this backstory in, and like if you want your character to help your character process this trauma and go through it and things like that and come out on the other side, or find a way to somehow like resolve the trauma in them that might include breaking the curse, might not, something like that. There's so many different ways to take it.
Yeah.
I'm also imagining the conversation.
All right, oh, go ahead.
Also imagining the conversation where it's like the fighter's like, I had to take care of my younger siblings because my parents were alcoholics and couldn't handle the kids, and the barbarian's like, I had to take care of my siblings because my entire family is werewolves.
I had to take care of my parents because my parents are werewolves.
Had to take care of my wonderful brother because if I didn't, my parents would literally eat him.
It wasn't a matter of we didn't have enough to eat. It was a matter of we were the things that were options to be eaten.
Everything's different when brother is on the menu.
In Soviet Russia, you are dinner. But yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna leave this very This is where I'm gonna leave this very traumatized barbarian, and we can move on to something hopefully a little less heavy.
Oh yeah, I'm rolling. Who's next?
I was gonna say, yeah, you decided it wasn't my job for the tropes.
It's a 4, which is me, which should have been the trope for you because it's kind of out there.
And you know I'm great tropes like that.
The icon is from iCarly. What you got there? A smoothie.
A smoothie.
The trope is beast in the building. A trope usually played for laughs when a live animal is seen indoors, in a place where such an animal would not normally be seen. This can happen if somebody takes the animal inside, perhaps for a dramatic entrance or for a prank, or if the animal wanders into the building on its own.
What you got there? A smoothie.
I kind of want... Because, like, this barbarian's got nothing to be sad about. They've got a loving family. They've got an awesome sword that they'll earn eventually. Needs some source of strife for this person. Because, like, a barbarian, you've got to have some sort of, like, emotional irregularity. What if this guy is a were creature, but, like, not anything effectual, like a wolf or tiger, or, like, boar or anything? What if it's just, like, a were hedgehog? The party wakes up, and the barbarian's just a hedgehog now.
Does he get a speed boost?
I was just doing my impression of Mystery. We snaw.
Oh, we snaw.
That's a beast in the building situation.
There's that, or like while they're adventuring, the party just keeps waking up and there's new animals that are traveling with the party, and they're just like, the barbarian's just like, I just like this vibe, bro. Can we keep them?
It distinctly reminds me of like the turning into an animal. In the campaign I played Mithra, our orc barbarian Dirk had a tiny little poison dart frog as his companion. And we kept joking that one day Dirk was gonna turn into a frog. And he was like, I want that to happen so bad. I can have frog adventures with Jerky, the frog. And then he decided to multi-class into druid so he could wild shape into a frog.
It almost makes me think that maybe the ancestral sword that you have that you never use is very much like the hat of vermin. And it's just,
oh my god,
it's just like random.
Or maybe the sword just casts animal friendship on the nearest animal
without you even
every
trying
night
to do it. It's just like, bam! All of a sudden, you have 3 fucking bats.
Swing the sword, Rat Man.
I like the sword just randomly casting animal friendship once a night, honestly. It's
I
like
love that.
sometimes the party wakes up and there's just an otter cuddled up next to the rogue, and then the party wakes up again and it's like 30 to 50 feral hogs also sleeping next to the rogue.
Barbarian steps back and just says, "I call this sword my AR-15." It just starts slaughtering fucking feral hogs.
And then you can work in the iCarly reference.
Yeah.
He walks over, says, "What do you have?" "My sword." And there's an ostrich next to it. A potion.
Oh, I love it. All right, I just gotta make a note. Just gotta add some kind of a sword that summons animals into my games.
Oh my god, don't give
This-
it to girls.
This was
no.
supposed to be a barbarian episode, but honestly, this magic weapon is kind of fire.
Give it to Baka.
Oh
He can
no!
summon his mom.
Oh no!
Bakak is our chicken Aarakocra paladin who didn't know he had smite until he almost died to a
Poor
garbage.
guy.
And then his mom got plucked naked and dipped in hot wax.
Yep, that sure did happen. Oof.
But either way,
I think that's where I'm gonna leave it.
that is an amazing. Yeah, that is amazing.
we took a deep dive into trauma for your character, and my character is just funny.
You always
Just a
gotta take the
goofball.
It's our
forward.
artificer episode all over again. All right, let's see where on the coin Chris flips.
Oh lord.
Trauma or hilarity?
I'm gonna
Oh,
try
this
for
is
hilarity.
weird. Also, I did roll a die to see who goes next. I did roll a 3, so it is Chris going next.
Fantastic.
It's going cold turkey.
Okay. You know that it almost feels too easy there, because like with a barbarian that's very charismatic and trying to sell things, it's some kind of multi-level marketing scheme. That trope, you could do it one of two ways. You could either take it that they're trying to stop what they're doing because they kind of understand that this is just total utter crap and it's not something they should be doing, and like they're trying to stop just completely, and they'll have normal interactions and just randomly, as if by instinct, say something like, "Oh, well, you can do it better if you have this stuff," and it's like, "Oh no," so they're kind of relapsing into it. But the other way that you could look at that is they have all of this there, and it's more of a oh no, I've lost my train of thought. Shit. Oh
Chris, edit in the train of thought.
no! Oh no! I've made work for myself.
The consequences of my own actions.
Oh, this is terrible. No, it's going cold turkey. So
Yep. Going cold turkey.
I mean, we did say
being
this
like-
barbarian might be on roids,
yeah, that's,
or
that's
like
true.
D&D roids.
D&D roids. Yeah, I mean, well, I going that route, I could see it just like, yeah, oh, well, I guess we'll go back to trauma. It's almost like they're having withdrawals from this wonderful thing that they've been trying to sell for however long, and it's just affecting them in ways that are not great. So like you're trying to rage, but you have to roll to rage, and you roll at disadvantage.
I was like, oh, my mind
I
went.
mean, like,
My mind went in the
if
gutter.
you wanted,
Are you-
if you wanted to go hilarity, you can almost do it like they go through random side effects, like a wild magic table.
True, could do that.
And I think it could be interesting as like a challenge in the player perspective. Like when you're cutting off and going cold turkey, you take an initial drop to strength, but like you've got to build it back up.
Yeah. That could work. For
You
sure.
just look like Grog when when he's just like limp and wimpy after you get off the drugs.
Well, there's like that actual mechanical. I am weaker than I was before this. I've got to get back up. I've got to get back to where I was, but I can't use them to do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's an interesting
Yeah.
roleplay mechanic.
Yeah, I feel like it would be a really great motivation too. Especially like if this barbarian has like their party behind them on this, or like someone close to them behind them, like cheering them on almost.
And it could almost be like a you're hopping like from thing to thing and leaving the previous thing behind, just going cold turkey and switching to something completely different. Like at first they're selling this wonderful barbarian thing and it'll make you rage better or whatever. You know, if you're if your rage lasts for more than 4 hours, go see a doctor. And then just randomly the next day they're just like, well, that's in the past. Why don't you try this thing that increases intelligence? And their strength drops and they have these weird withdrawals because they're doing weird things that barbarians don't usually do. And just, hopping from MLM to MLM because honestly, kind of just mirroring real life. People just, once they get into one of them, they're going to get into another. Don't
Bet
do
you
it.
If you or a loved one
Don't
have been diagnosed with osteoporosis, you may be entitled to financial compensation.
If you think that it's too good to be true, it is. Please
It
don't
is.
do it. Public service announcement given to you by me.
Exactly. Given to you by Editor Chris, and then the more you know rainbow shooting star goes across the screen.
Stop it. Get some help. Yeah, I don't know if I can go anywhere else with that.
So we had
No, I love that.
we had Beast Barbarian, random animals, and going cold turkey.
Oh no, Turkey Barbarian.
Jumping. Oh no.
Turkey Aarakocra Barbarian?
Oh no.
We just had an episode
What?
full of animals.
Oh my god. just standing outside in the rain, head up looking, drowns.
Trying to do the sad anime thing, standing out in the rain, eyes closed, looking up. It's fucking drowns. Gets chased for Thanksgiving dinner.
Maybe the episode title is multi-animal marketing.
what were all of the potions that were going into this Aarakocra seasoning?
That's its marinade.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
But yeah, is that where
But all right, I think that's where we. I think this is a good place to seal up all 3 of these jars and put them on the market. If you liked this show or need any ideas, you can find Vale and I on Twitter at Worlds and Jars, and Chris on Twitter at Chris Rogers VO, or all of us at Worlds and Jars because we love Editor Chris. Or you can email us at worldinajar1@gmail.com. Chris, as our esteemed guest, do you have any recommendations for the folks at home?
I don't know. Keep playing D&D. Just keep making characters, even if you're not going to use them. It's fun to make them.
Absolutely. Character creation is so much fun.
Also, don't
you
join
can go so many places.
multi-level marketing schemes. Don't do it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. Please.
join single level marketing. Don't let them go more than 2 levels.
Don't join any marketing. Love yourself.
Resist capitalism in all its forms.
Exactly.
But I think
But
we failed bingo this time.
no, we had a cat sighting.
No, because you didn't mention Kratos on the Barbarian episode.
Oh, you're right. I
Wow.
did. Kratos was one of my listed influences,
Man.
inspirations.
All right.
That
It's okay. How many times have I talked about Kratos? But either way, viewers, do something good for yourselves, and we will see you next
gotta
time.
let
Bye.
Bye. This episode was edited by me at MeVO on Twitter. Go check me out.